Hey guys, this is ohager from Signum Network. I'm one of the core developers of the entire team, and I'm here today to explain you a little bit, not a little bit, what's the Rainbow Focus all about. So I'm going to kind of the not into too technical details, but I want to explain you a little bit all the implications we have around that. I just say this is a very, very huge thing that's coming up. I think it's one of the most impacting updates on the protocols since the existence of Signum, or historically Burstcoin, so since 2014. And yeah, the protocol switch will happen on June 25 on block 1,029,000. So I will go a little bit into it and show you what's going on. So it's a major protocol update. You see I have a lot of bubbles here which show you that there are a lot of areas we touched and improved. This is something that will, in terms of our strategy and vision and all this stuff, towards tokenization, efficient, sustainable tokenization, this is a huge step forward. And I think there are a lot of unique features inside there. I think if you don't know Signum right now, or for some reason you're seeing that video, I just highly recommend to look into the platform itself. It's pretty major already. We are here battle-proof since 2014, and yeah, that's going on. So what's about this hard fork? Let's talk about that. 8 months of work. This like weeks of community discussions. We have all the people involved there. Thank you for all the support and your thoughts on all this stuff. This is not something that just come out from one people's mind. This is really a teamwork that happening there. And we have 7 hard fork relevant improvement proposals established, which called SIPs. Month of testing. We have even 2 parallel test nets running just to see, just not to affect the other test net. It's like kind of funny. So we have more than 105 in the node software changed. This is huge, really huge. I saw that merge that came out. More than 1,000 lines of code removed. This is always a good sign. That means that we are improving the code. It's still being refactored and it's getting better, and it's less convoluted. And on the other hand, because of the new features, 4,000 and more lines of new code coming into this code base. So it's a major protocol update. Let's start with the first feature. There are fee updates. So the fee regime was like changed right now. Because of historical reasons, we have this strange value of 0.00735 as minimum table fee. We rounded it up to 0.001. It's a little bit easier to work with that. But one of the things that coming also is the fee burning. So to explain that a little bit. So all the fees usually nowadays go to the miners, which is okay. But there's certain operations, especially in the Signum blockchain, that are not miner related. So for example, the execution of a smart contract is not something like effort of the miner, it's the effort of the node operator. So that's the reason why that fee on the execution of the smart contract now will be burned. This is not to harm the miners. This is just like to be more fair on all this. It's just like that the really effort is running on the node software. So, and that is one of the things that the fee on the execution of smart contracts is being burned. Remember that we don't have a cap, so we have a fixed reward, minor reward of 100 Signa. And people, and this is correct, that they're complaining, saying, no, but we have an inflation here, this is not a deflationary system anymore. And the fee burning is one of the mechanisms to like counterattack a little bit this kind of very low, very low inflation we have on our blockchain. So the inflation, if you talk about this, is 0.5% per year, and we can, with a lot of smart contracts, we can like lower it a little bit. So it's a counteraction, and this also counts for subscription payments, recurring payments, because they are derived from one single transaction, which was one mined in the past or forged in the past. So then when the subscription is being executed, it's again an effort of the node and not an effort of the miner. So that's what's the reason behind that. We say that. So there are 2 implications on that. It's a little bit fairer. We have kind of reduction a little bit of the inflation, and yeah, it's like a minor update somehow. we have something interesting together with that. This is for the node operators. So this is a 25% fee cashback. That means if you, as a node operator, are running your software and you make people create transactions on your node, you will get rewarded a little bit. This is an incentive system for node operators. So we have an incentive system for miners to sustain the network, to secure the network, and for the node operators, which also has something in common with the security and the stable and stabilizing the network itself. This is interesting for business use cases. If you really go into that and say, oh, cool, if I can make people going to my node and making the transactions, then I will get a reward for that as a node operator and not as a miner. So as a miner also. So I have two revenue streams on that. So you might ask, what's with the featured nodes there all around that? Featured nodes, for people who doesn't know that, these are node operators who are committed to really to keep to maintain these nodes with a certain commitment and saying like, this is the one, I try to keep it as stable as possible, as available. These are the featured nodes. All the featured nodes, I also running one, all the fees that are coming from that stuff, they are going to the SNA, to the Signum Network Association. So this is like for kind of donation purpose, one would say like that, that we can use that income to pay campaigns, to go into listings and all this stuff. So the featured nodes have a cashback for the SNA. The SNR, the Signum Node Reward Program, will still continue. There is nothing that changes on that. Okay, so going over, we have a little bit more updates. We have, for example, double block size. The double block size means we have right now 176 kilobytes, which is doubled to 350 around that. That means that we also double the transactions per block we can put into it. That means also that we have for simple transactions, the doubling the transactions per second. Of course, this is not astonishing value here. This is not like saying, oh, this is the fast network. We talk about this a little bit later. It's just like this is a minor. It's an important update. It's a minor update in the entire scenario where I presented to you. We have something that we call multiverse readiness, multi-chain readiness. That means that the code was adjusted such that certain parameters can be configured right now. That means you can run parallel chains, side chains, which are compatible in terms of accounts, for example. So these same seeds generates the same accounts. And if you want to establish kind of an interaction between two chains, for example, you have a dedicated chain for your business and you want to have other transaction throughput, so you put like the other parameters and say like, I want to have less fees or more fees, I want to have another coin, and you say like the digits, the decimals and all this stuff. So it's like for your business, you can do that, you can make it public, private, whatever, and you can even, with a little bit of effort, like you can maintain a compatibility between smart contracts and all this stuff. So this is, I'm not going into this very deeply because this just means that we have now the possibility to use the chain code to build your own blockchain. And we hope that people are start working on that. I have some ideas and trying to use that software to make your own business on that. Okay. These are the minor updates. I think they're pretty interesting things already, but now we go over to the heavy things. So token updates. First of the thing, we have tokens already, which is called assets. Since the beginning, the Signum blockchain has an inbuilt decentralized token exchange. Many people doesn't know that, but that's the fact. And we're using this already in the BTDEX software, and I can't just giving a spoiler, we will establish a new, powerful, fully fledged, decentralized token platform with a lot of big things coming up. So the NFT portal right now is almost stable. Just coming some few more features on that, and the next effort for the people who wants to know that is going toward the tokenization stuff, full force. So what is that token updates? What we have? The first of the things is we have mintable tokens now. That means you just say upfront that your token can be minted and you can emit more tokens. So there is no predefined quantity. You have the opportunity to generate tokens on demand for your business, and you can burn them. So you can like generate token streams, like you're emitting them, you're just like circulating them, and once the token is consumed, you just burn it and it's away. So these are mintable tokens in that way, and these are all native. Those ones are not smart contract driven. This is something that is distinguished to other platforms like Ethereum. So where these are all contracts and they have all the costs involved and all this stuff. Okay. So one of the next things is that you can create treasury accounts. That means you control, in the first place, your token supply. That means if you want to issue, let's say 1 million tokens for your business, and you want to make like distribution to and hold back 20% for you, then you just say like, okay, this is be a treasury account, and that treasury account is holding back a quantity of tokens, and they're excluded from the circulating supply, but you can also add them to the circulating supply. That means that if you want to make an automatic distribution, we'll talk about this in a few moments, then these treasury account tokens are not considered into this distribution for token holders. This is much fairer, and it's only that means like if you're holding 80% of the tokens, you're not getting your own dividends. It's like you just like make this, and this is important for the next feature that's coming up. This is the distribution to the token holders, which is automated, and this is very interesting. This is really awesome thing, because it means that you can, with a single call, you can say, now distribute a value X or a token or token. You can do it with Signum, and you can do it with a token together, like you want to do an airdrop or something like that. So you distribute that to your token holders, and this automatically will be distributed proportionally, and you can even make them conditionally eligible for that. You say like, only token holder with more than 1,000 tokens of my ones will be eligible to receive that. So a very simple condition to do so. And this is still native. It's not running on a smart contract. Just keep that in mind. And there is something that we have done is like, there are 5,000 distributions or payments per second possible, which is what you call the smart transactions per second, SDKs. And we have it capped because people run their nodes on VPSs, and probably they run them on a 4-core machine or not, something like that. So we just cap that in the second. We just cap it to 5,000 to that this can be executed on almost any mini-sized or medium-sized VPS, because this is an effort done by the node operators. Okay, so technically we could like make much more of that, but we said not everybody is running a big node, and we don't want to shut down the nodes because of that. So meaning that 5,000 distributions per second is possible. We have a paper about the collapse of the blockchain, and there are described certain scenarios about scalability in that kind of things. I will put the link into the stream, into the YouTube video also, that you can read that. There are scenarios like comparing to Solana, comparing to Cardano, to Ethereum, and to see where we what we address with this kind of stuff, and you see it's very powerful. So this is really a huge thing. And if you think this is already really cool, it's it's like 5,000 transactions per second for that kind of transaction. Yeah, just to keep it up, we have different kind of transactions. Every time it comes up to how many transactions per second you can do. So at minimum we can do we have for 8 transactions per second, but we have multi-out payments. This, for example, I can send to up to 128 recipients with one only transaction, say like that. We have subscription, which is derived, also has no capping, and now we have this one. So this is not really easy to say how many transactions per second we can do, but at minimum we can do 8, and it's going usually around 40, 80, whatever, we can do that. And this is for most people or most businesses is sufficient. And then we have this huge thing where we capped it to 5,000 payments. So 5,000 payments again. It's just like, I think it's clear right now. So distributed token holders, token updates. We have now everything prepared for huge and big tokenomics that's coming up. So what's missing out? I mean, it's already awesome. So then there comes the big smart contract updates. I mean, just to have that idea, Signum has smart contracts and VM, smart contract engine, which is Turing complete. That means in theory it's Turing complete. And since August 2014, so almost 1 year before Ethereum. One of the issues we had is like it was like a low-level assembly-like coding language, and since a few years we are already able to write smart contracts now in Java syntax. So you use your VS Code for the developers menu. So you just like use VS Code and you go there and you write your smart contract in the Java syntax. Very readable, very user-friendly, very nice. There is, of course, the effort from Ethereum, which has established a C-like language and a very powerful compiler and optimizer. Great work, dude. And so we can nowadays write contracts in a Java syntax or in a C-like syntax. This is already pretty cool. It's awesome. But what are the new smart contract updates we have here? So the general updates is like we doubled the code page size. It's very technical. That means like we have more complex, or it's capable to have more complex smart contracts because the more instructions fit into that. So we have a new instruction set. This is very technical. I won't go into details with that. You can see that in the SIPs itself. This is not part of the scope here to go into that, but this is a general update, very technical one. But this is a huge thing. One of the biggest limits we had so far is that smart contracts were not able to interact with their native token system. So now, and this is wow. I mean, I put it there, wow. It's really wow. You can fully automate tokenomics right now. This is really, really, really huge. So we can now issue native tokens. We can mint them. We can transfer and burn multiple tokens, and we can distribute the payouts. So everything that's possible in the update for the tokenomics, which was the other bubble I showed you, this is now possible within the smart contracts. This is mind blowing. This is really, really, really awesome. You can fully automate tokenomics right now. And keep in mind that our contracts are very cheap to execute, and you write them in Java. It's like really a command like that, issue token, and you say what you want to do there. It is like really cool. You mint them, okay? And this is not enough, guys. This is something, when I discovered that what's something like this is genius. So Joss, the architect behind the smart contract stuff and all this, he did an awesome work here. So what we have here is a key value database or map for smart contracts. That means you can store unlimited key value tuples for a smart contract. There is no storage limit on that. So you can, for example, what you can do with that, you can keep track of users, of players for games or whatever inside one contract, and can say, okay, we have so many players right now, we have that and that, and it can be up to thousands of players if you want to. It's a key value database for the smart contract. Okay, this is not a static data stack, it's a dynamic one. It's limited to key value tuples, each one 8 bytes, but it's sufficient because you can keep track of accounts, other contracts, and whatever it is. And then there's another big thing of that is like other contracts can read them. And this is so mind-blowing. This thing is like, what the fuck? I mean, when I just like thought about that, and one moment it was like, let's recap it. It's a fucking database which can be read by other smart contracts. And that means that you can establish a contract, for example, like an Oracle, and others can read the data. And you can, I don't know what's even possible with it, but that gives me some really really crazy ideas, and I'm just like, I'm really stoked about it. You see that? I'm a developer, I like that, but what's that possible with this kind of simple concept of key value database? And if I'm not really wrong, nobody else, no platform has this, okay? So people are talking about oracles and all this stuff, and this is the way that we can do that. So this is pretty awesome. So just to recap all the things, we have full token support in the smart contracts right now. That means you can totally automate your tokenomics, and we have that incredible key value map stuff. So if you see this all together, put this together, on June 25, on block 1,029,000, there will be this switch over the network, and then there will all these bubbles will be active now. And it's, for my impression, this is one of the biggest evolutions of Signum since it came out. Okay, we're really fully fledged monster platform ever. This is the only thing I can say. I'm really stoked about that. And I already started on use cases, and I think that people would just like understand a little bit what the implications of that starts. You will like, wow, man. I just recommend going to that, see what you can do with tokenomics, like the normal token, native token ones, or how you can just like connect this with smart contracts. I mean, this thing, like, so many possibilities and opportunities we have here. This is really astonishing. I'm stoked. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. You understood a little bit better what Signum is all about and what this new update is bringing to us. So if there are any doubts or questions on that which aren't explained with all the additional material I provide in the description, just come into our community, ask us. We really appreciate to help you clarify doubts and all this stuff. That's it. So spread the word.